Hello everyone, welcome to Zoom in China. Starting from today, we'll give you a series of episodes called Youth in Calamities, which are stories told by a man whose father was among the wealthiest 300 people in old Shanghai. These stories focus on his personal experience and his memory in the Cultural Revolution. Before we start, please subscribe our channel if you have not done so. Forward. This is really a revolution that touches people's souls. After half a century of time, the nightmare of Cultural Revolution period is still clearly present in my mind, scene after scene, and I believe they will never fade away in my life. I was born in Shanghai and grew up on Changle Road. This is a cultural street full of history and stories, from Xiangyang Road to the west, because there were many French-style garden houses which were hidden in quiet shade in this downtown area. Changle Road is far away from the common people. It is also this vastly rich area that was hit the hardest during the Cultural Revolution, when the four old families were raided, and the January Revolution, when power was being fought over. During the Cultural Revolution, I attended Shanghai 54th High School, which was located at number 34 Kangping Road, a few steps away from the Kang office, number 165, which was known as Shanghai's Zhongnan High. This was always the place where Shanghai dignitaries lived, as the dormitories of cadres of the East China Bureau and Shanghai Municipal Committee were nearby. Most of the cadres' children attended Nanyang Model Middle School and the 54th Middle School, so our middle school was also known as the Inner Circle. The Cultural Revolution is full of stories, and they speak for themselves. History is won because of the witnesses. The past is remembered because of the people who lived it. Let's turn this heavy page together. Chapter 1. The Raid on the Four Old Houses. 1. Sweeping up the Four O's. On June 1st, 1966, the editorial of the People's Daily, Sweeping Away All the Evil Spirits, put forward the slogan, destroying all the old ideas, old cultures, old customs, and old habits that have poisoned the people for thousands of years. Later, the 16 articles of the Cultural Revolution explicitly stated that breaking the four O's and establishing the four news was an important goal of the Cultural Revolution. On August 18, 1966, Mao Zedong met with millions of Red Guards at Tiananmen Square to add fuel to the fire of the national catastrophe, supporting them to dare to rebel, to break the old and create the new, to not be civilized but to be violent. From then on, the country was plunged into an all-out civil war, Mao Zedong's words, in which the masses fought the masses. On August 23rd, the People's Daily once again published an editorial praising the progress of breaking the four O's, and soon the storm of breaking the four O's that swept the country reached Shanghai. First, the Red Guards raised iron booms and altered the names of roads, stores, and places with feudalistic and bourgeois names. Road signs and signboards were smashed down, all covered with red paper or red paint. Within 2 days, the whole street, the whole business district, the whole cityscape became a sea of red, as the Red Guards of each school took their own revolutionary actions. Several revolutionary roads and many anti-revisionist roads, or Red Guard roads, were created in Shanghai all at once. This made the postman at loss as to how to deliver the letters properly. Within 2 days, The Red Guard movement evolved into a revolutionary action on personal attire and grooming. Whenever they saw a woman with permed hair wearing tight pants or flared pants, or a man with blow-dried hair or a large bun head, the Red Guards would surround her and recite a quotation from Mao Zedong, then cut off her permed hair and pants. If a person resisted a bit, she'd be forced to shave her head into a yin-yang head, and the Red Guards would hang a sign of bourgeois stinky lady around her neck and had a live criticism session. The breaking of the four oaths has turned into an absolute law, a passport, and a demonic spell that tramples on law and does what it wants to do, causing great damage to traditional Chinese culture, normal social life, and monuments and cultural relics. Here, I don't want to go into details of how the mausoleum of Emperor Yan, the mausoleum of Emperor Shun, the mausoleum of Genghis Khan, the mausoleum of Zhongshan, the 13 tombs were destroyed, nor do I want to talk about the Temple of Confucius, the Temple of Ba Wang, the Temple of Da Yu, the Buddha statue of Sakyamuni, the Wuhou Temple, and the Anfangjiala Temple with the statues of Princess Wencheng and Songcan Ganpo were smashed. Nor do I want to talk about how the honest officials and patriotic and loyal ministers Hai Rui, Bao Zheng, Zhang Zhidong, Yue Fei had their tombs destroyed and their corpses were burned and ashes thrown away, or their remains paraded on the street as a form of humiliation. I just want to take a look at how my family and people I know around me had suffered mentally and economically during the 10 years of Cultural Revolution. This single drop of water reflects the unprecedented and outrageous destruction of cultural relics and monuments throughout China during this period, and how the destruction of Chinese civilization has reached the highest level in human history. 2. The first house raid. Since my father was one of the top 300 capitalists in Shanghai, it was inevitable that he would bear the brunt of this historical flood. The first time my home was raided, I remember it was September 2nd, 1966. On that day, when it was already dark, a group of about 100 Red Guards from my father's company stood in a large black mass, filling the alley as well as the stairs and the hallway of the house. The room is also full of people. It was so crowded that everyone was sweating. A few old workers showed embarrassed faces, not daring to look at us. There were also a few younger ones who were curious. They began to look at the furnishings, calligraphy, and paintings in our house, rummaging through the boxes. Whenever they see something worth a little money, they would put them aside. These include some Hetian jade, blue and white jade carvings, all kinds of Henan jade pendants, jade rings, all kinds of diamond rings, pendants, jewelries, bracelets, pearls, agates, cloisonne, paintings, calligraphy of famous people, red sandalwood furniture, bonds, loan receipts, Malaysian rubber plantation share certificates, 2 and 4 tail of gold bracelets, big yellow fish, 10 tails of gold bars, small yellow fish, 1 tail of gold bars, and so on. There were all kinds of fancy items. The leader of the rebel Red Guards, who was the head of the group, made 3 copies for a list of these items and signed and stamped each copy. This list was later taken back by the rebel team. They said that, by keeping this list, are you still wishing for a possibility of change? Yes, gold has a market, but jewelry is priceless. In fact, I think The most valuable things they raided away are the paintings and calligraphy of famous people. That's the real priceless treasure. At school, I was the leader of the school's arts interest group and studied Chinese painting under Mr. Fu Wenyan, who is now 97 years old and the last living disciple of Master Zhang Daqian. When I was studying and copying paintings in middle school, Mr. Fu would also mention many representative figures of the painting schools and famous modern painters. In my father's family and friends' conversation, I knew some of the great names of the elder generation. Now, when I saw the list, I was stunned. At that time, when I checked the register, I found that there were paintings and calligraphy signed by Tang Yin, Ba Da Shen Ren, Zheng Banqiao, Xu Beihong, Qi Baishi, Cheng Shifa, Zhu Zhishan, Zhang Daqian, Xu Shiqi, Bei Yushao, who is Bei Yuming's sister. There were also paintings drawn by Mei Lanfang, Huang Jinrong, and Du Yuesheng, and there were also paintings by some artists who were not yet famous at that time. Two pieces are worthy of special mentioning. One is Tang Bohu's painting of a lady. It looked old and yellow, yet there were at least a dozen red seals and collectors' signatures on it. By intuition, I believe this is a genuine painting. Second one is a painting of my father's 40th birthday, 100 longevity character painting. It is about 6 feet wide, beautifully framed, and each square is about 1 foot square, with a red background, gold leaf, and black characters. The characters are written in running script, cursive script, regular script, Wei-Bei script, official script, and seal script, and each one is written with the character shou, which means longevity, according to each person's preference, and each one is signed with a personal seal. The show characters of 100 celebrities in Shanghai were then framed and assembled into a large show character. This was a magnificent sight to behold, hanging from the fourth floor of the Golden Gate Hotel, which was the largest banquet hall at that time, with all the celebrities and guests in attendance. About 2 years ago, I read a news article in a newspaper about one Chinese character by Huang Jinrong that was auctioned in the United States for $30 million. I also saw a report that a painting by Zhang Daqian, Yellow Mountain, was sold for 46.6 million Hong Kong dollars. We asked about the whereabouts of these boxes of paintings and calligraphy when my father was rehabilitated and requested their return, but the cadres who handled them said during the Cultural Revolution the national economy was on the verge of collapse and there was no foreign exchange these years, and these paintings of yours were so famous and so good. They must have been exported for foreign currency in the early years of Cultural Revolution. There is no way to get them back. You should think of it as a contribution to the country, so there is no way to compensate for them. Were these paintings really exported and exchanged for foreign currency, or were they privately swallowed by the Red Guards or the head of the rebellion to pay tribute to some leader and get promoted in exchange? No one knows for sure. These paintings and calligraphy have disappeared forever, without any news of their whereabouts. Today, they are not regarded as stolen, nor are they seen as robbed artifacts, but can only be named as contributed or donated. Like lightning, the house raiding campaign swept through cities and counties across the country. It swept through the entire city of Shanghai. Not a single person was spared. It was not until after the Cultural Revolution that I learned about the past and present lives of the families in Liuyuan. Well, that's all for today. Please subscribe, like, and share with your friends. Thank you for watching. See you next time.